Okay, so Nora Jean here. This is a mouse pad that I have that has zebras on it. And I just wanted to look at the zebra stripes before making the cane, because the ends of the stripes are not that pointy, and they're not even. You know, some are wide and some are narrow, and some are close together and some are further apart. So depending on what part of the zebra stripe you want, that'll determine how thick your sheets are going to be. And so this is we're just looking at it, and we're just thinking about it before actually making the cane. If you looked at the video for the tiger cane that I did in February of 2013, you'll see that when I make stripes, I don't just use a flat sheet of clay. I'll move the zebra so you know that we're working on zebra here. I take multiple layers of clay, and then I stack them, and then I mash down the sides, because the edges of the sheets are like rectangles. These are rectangles. And if you see me smudging some black marks on this, is because I was just working with the black stripes. The stripe that I was making for the black. And the black cane, the black clay is old, and I don't think that I put enough liquid polymer clay in it to really make it as malleable as this white. So we'll just see how this turns out. I mean, we only need like 15 slices to cover a pen, right? We're doing this for the covered pen swap. So sometimes when you do that, it gets stuck to the work table. Just put your tissue blade underneath and pull it. Fold it in half. And remember, when you catch air, close it from one side, like that. And I'm gonna be pushing in. This doesn't look focused. It's supposed to be autofocus. Come on. Okay. I'm going to be pushing in the side. I'm not pinching and pulling out the side. I'm pushing it in, because those zebra stripes are sort of blunt at the end. And no, I don't mean that kind of blunt, you pot smokers. Stop. Okay. And so we have a stripe here that is thicker in the middle, thinner towards the edges. I'm going to pull it out a little bit. Okay. So I have the black already made. So let's say about this much each. Okay, I'm just going to mark it. I'm just marking. This is as close to measuring as you're going to get from me. Okay. Just marking it with my finger now. Okay. Now I'm not gonna stack it like this. Like that. That would end up with something that's sort of, too thick in the middle. So I'm gonna be overlapping the sheets I mean the stripes. So we get like a, what would we call that? Who knows? Like that. And see, it's okay to, you know, to have white on white or black on black, because the zebra stripes, they fork sometimes. Okay. We can go like that. Okay. Plan? I ain't got no plan. I cut the last white in half. I'm just putting it this way. Okay. So then, let's see if we can reduce this. It's kind of hard to reduce it when it's like flat on one side and curved on the other. So let's try this. And I'm just goofing around, you know. I'm not... Ooh, that's interesting. Huh. Not gonna work though. Let's do it this way. I'm gonna cut off, I'm gonna trim off the edges. Make it a little easier to reduce. Okay. And see if we can get this into a smaller space, that make it wider, so I can cut it, and we could. And I'm not using straight white. I'm using pearl mixed with white, because white by itself is just too much, too bright. And I like a little shimmer. I like a little pearl shimmer. Okay, so let's see. Let's cut this in half again. That would be too identical, like that, like that. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Because we're going to be reducing this to like 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. That's why I didn't want to use up a whole. And you can stack things any way you want. You can make the stripes as thin or as wide as you want them. I mean, the zebras don't particularly care. You know, zebras are black, and they grow white hair. White and black hair for stripes. If you shaved a zebra, it'd be all black. But if you shaved a tiger, his skin would be striped. Why I know stuff like this? Don't even ask. Okay, now we're getting to the point where we can perhaps cut it again. Cut it and stack it again. We'll see. Okay, this is for Jeannie of PC. What is that called? Jeannie Howell. She says, "Doesn't this require the fist of doom?" Yes, it does. This is a fist of doom. Okay. Then let's give it a slice. See what we got. Is it zebra? Will it work? I'd say it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy zebra. I think we should give it another effort. This might go into the chop and toss. This would be good for the chop and toss for African stuff. Okay. Okay, I had a brain fart about this one. If we smash this and cut it and stacked it, we might be able to get something that's possibly zebra. Okay, so sometimes I just sort of like, that might do. That just might do. Okay. Because we need to reduce this to about 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. Yeah, I think this will do for zebra. See, we're getting there. Some zebra I've done, and I've bent it, so there's a curve. The lines are curved. Okay, let's slice this. Let's see what we got. Yep, that'll do. I was dating this guy from England, and I was making him a sandwich. We didn't have mayonnaise. We had pickle dip. And I said, Ian, we don't have mayonnaise. We have pickle dip. And he said, PickleDip'llDo. So, this is our PickleDip'llDo. PickleDip'llDo zebra. And you know, if we took this, cut it on the diagonal, right, and flipped it, we'd have a chevron. Remember that, okay? Any stripes that are going this way, you can cut it on the diagonal. And why do we do that? We'll put a little black in there. We'll do that right now. Okay? So, let's just take a little bit. Okay? And so the stripes are going this way. And see, these are the corners we're gonna keep track of, and that's how we keep track of our cut. We do it. I put my fingers by the clay, and I said, okay, those are the corners, right? Okay, let's get some black. I just happen to have a bunch of I don't want it to be real thick, so we'll press it thin-ish. Thin-ish for the finish. Okay. So then, diddly-do, we'll just like put it right there. Ooh, I'm excited. Okay. And see. That's the flip. Oops. Sort of like out of order there. That's the flip. Now if I cut that off, you can see that better. Okay. This was the horizontal lines that I cut at a diagonal. Then when we flip them around, we have a chevron. Okay? And so then what I'll do with this is I'll add the rest of this black as a surround sheet. So it's not like black and white, black and white, black and white. There we go. Oops, oops. Nifty. This is going to be the cane that I'm going to use to cover the pen. And that will be in the next section, because I gotta fetch the pen. And there we go. Alrighty, so got the pen, got about half of that cane, that zebra cane. I've got 15 slices, because that's been pretty much how much we've been using. And as always, I sort of mash, and I'm sort of elongating it to make it more diamond shape and less like square. And let's see how it goes. Yeah, Mr. PickleDip'llDo went cross country with him and his beat up old station wagon back in the hippie days, eating cold bean sandwiches on the side of the road. When we were going through the Salt Lake Desert, he covered his face. I thought, well, that's interesting. I didn't say anything. I just didn't pay any attention. He didn't say anything either. He just covered his face with a bandana. By the time we were finished going through the Salt Lake Desert, my face was chapped. My lips were cracked, and his were fine. He had experience going through the desert. He had told me once that he got dysentery on the border of Morocco. And I said, well, how was that? He said, interesting. Gotta love Aries, you know. They're just like so butch. So anyway, I told him, I said, why didn't you, inform me? Put on a scarf over my face. We're going through the desert. He said, you didn't ask. So he didn't offer. Needless to say, our romantic life took a serious downhill turn, because it's really hard for me to be amorous with my lips all chapped and bleeding every time I open my mouth to eat something. So definitely he wasn't going to get any action. Mr. PickleDip. Honestly. Needless to say, when we finally got to where we were going, I told him, well, it's been real. That's what I say to people, and I don't want to say, you dickwad, you're the biggest jerk that ever lived. I just go, it's been real. Because it certainly was. Okay. We're having a little bit of a gap fest over here. Let's see what we can do. Cut a little bit this way. And stick it in there. Because sometimes, look at, and we did it without using 15 sheets. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We did it with like 7, well, almost. We got a little bit at the end. It's half as much. A little bit goes a long way. I tell you, that's what I love about polymer clay. It is the medium for those who are practicing glamour on a budget. And that's us, kids. Because we are all as broke as the 10 Commandments. But that's okay. Now, remember, at this point, it'll still be a little lumpy bumpy, right? So what do? You know what we do. We roll it on the table because we're casual like that. Okay. Ooh, it's sort of separated. Okay, when that happens, be careful. If it separates from the barrel when you're rolling it like that, just sort of squeeze it in, squeeze it back in, and don't catch any air bubbles. So you squeeze it in going upward towards the top to release the air. That was a little surprising. Surprising. Okay. There is our zebra pen-ish. It's an ish, zebra pen-ish. So here are the various steps. We got steps here. And then we took those two and reduced them. And then we made a chevron flip. See? Not really directly all the way to the corner there on this down here. So where are we? Down here. Didn't go all the way to the corner. Relax. Anybody who's going to notice that better be able to do this better than you. That's all I gotta say. So that's the story on zebra. What kind of noise does a zebra make? I should find out. Alrighty.